Welcome back. This is part 2 of the elementary logic videos for covering 25 marks in the Mumbai University question paper for 24-25. So in this second part, we are going to specifically learn about identifying compound proposition. Okay, what kind of compound proposition it is, symbolizing it, and constructing the corresponding truth tables. Okay, we are going to use this sign for negation. Okay, now it's very simple. I understand that many people, even in spite of me saying very simple, they may say that okay, I know that is why it's simple. But no, it is not because of that. It is simple because I've learned it, I've understood it, I've tried my best, I've put my lot of efforts into understanding this. But yet I see people, students saying, or my friends saying, no, I don't understand this. You'll not. If you keep saying that, you'll never understand it. If a blind person says, why I'm saying this is because it's very important for me to say this right now. If a blind person, a person who cannot see, says, oh, I cannot see, so I'll not walk. If he doesn't walk, what will he do? You can't keep sitting at one place. You have to put some effort. There is no other way out. Even I did not know about elementary logic. I studied, I put effort, and then you will come to know if you do it. And it's very interesting. Believe me. Trust me, it's very interesting, very good. You should just have an inquisitive mind to learn, to know. There's nothing that you cannot know, that you cannot understand. You have that human capacity. Mind is there, it's capable. Our mind is capable. Only we have to put that effort. It may take it may take few hours more. It may take hours, but ultimately you will come to know there's nothing that you cannot know. Okay, so let's start the video now quickly, because we have to cover many of these topics, many of these questions. These are all questions which have come in the past question papers. Very simple. I'll explain it step by step. Initially I'll go slow, then I'll start moving faster and faster, so that I can cover up everything within a set time. I don't want to extend it too much. Okay, so they'll give you this question: if Radha was the wife of Krishna, Krishna was male. Okay, so they've given Krishna 2 times, so you have to consider it as 1 time. Means Radha is wife of Krishna and Krishna is male. Okay, so this is 2 statements. Compound means 2 statements. Compound proposition means made up of 2 statements. And so how do we identify this? We'll do this later, identification in the end. But before this, we'll start symbolizing. So we have to write, let Radha was the wife of Krishna, be P, and Krishna was male, be S, or Q, whatever, PQ. Okay, in this question, so we'll go with as it is, because I don't want to write and waste time here. So we'll go as it is. We could have written it like this also. Just for simplicity's sake, we could have said R for Radha was the wife of Krishna and Krishna was male. So we can say K. We can write it like this also. But right now we are going with what is, so to avoid confusion, we'll use a standard alphabets. Okay, so P and Q. So we'll start with P, Q, R, S and so on. If there are more of them, generally there are 3 only. So P, Q, R, max to max 3. So Radha was the wife of Krishna, P. Krishna was male, Q. So let P be Radha was the wife of Krishna, Q be Krishna was a male. Now what will be the logical form? Because they will tell us 3 things. Symbolize it. Symbolize it means give its logical form. Okay. So we have just symbolized it like this, and then finally we'll symbolize P implies Q. If then. So if P is the wife, then Q is male. This is what it means. If P is wife, for whose it doesn't matter. It's a standard format. Okay. So if P is the wife, then Q is male. P, and whenever we have this kind of statement, you have to put implication. If it starts with if, then we have to put, because this itself implies that it's a if symbol. if is implied, if is put in this way, is a conditional arrow. Okay. Okay, now start with the truth table. I already explained this in my previous videos. I'll freshly explain here. So there's no further, you don't have to jump between videos. So whenever we have this kind of simple, the only thing that you need to remember is how to create truth table. For this truth table, okay, P implies Q only when the first part is true and the second part is false. Okay, first part is true, that is P is true, that is first term is true, and the second term is false, then the conclusion is false. The first term is true, second term is false, then the whole conclusion becomes false. You can see it here. First is true, false, so the whole thing becomes false. Otherwise we put all as true. This will keep coming. Every time you see conditional arrow, implication arrow, if then you have to use this truth table. So remember this only, one part. If the first term is true, second term is false, then the whole result becomes false. Otherwise it is all true. Okay, it's as simple as that. So let us create, I'll create a fresh table for you so that you understand it much easier. When I am doing it separately, maybe you'll understand it much better. Okay, so we first put P, because we have this logical form, so we have to prepare a truth table for this. So we create two columns, P, Q, okay, separate characters, and then if P then Q. How does it work? We start with, we write true first, then true false. This is a standard way of writing, don't change this at all. Okay, false true, false false. Just remember this is the way we go. True false, false true, and false false. Okay, only when I said the first term is true and the second term is false, then the whole result becomes false. Otherwise it is true. As simple as this. Don't complicate. We don't have too much time to go into the details of this. Why it is true, why is it false. Just understand for exam point of view that first term is true, second term is false, then the whole conclusion, the whole result becomes false. Okay, you can understand it any way you want. Okay, so this is all that we need to do. We need to create a truth table. So we are done. So first part we have done, symbolizing we have done. Okay, now identification. So this is a conditional proposition. This is known as if then is a conditional proposition. So we have biconditional and conditional. We have two of them. So a biconditional will look like this. Okay, if and only if. It means this part means if and only if. It's also known as biconditional. Okay, now let's move on to the second question. If and only if. This is what I was talking about, biconditional. Okay, voters are well informed. Let us put it as standard P. Democracy will be successful. Put it as Q. Okay, so then the symbol will be, symbolization will be P like this. Okay. So this will be the symbolization. So let P be let P, voters are well informed. Let Q, democracy will be successful, and then symbolization is this. Okay, this is a biconditional proposition. It's a I'm not going down. We'll do that totally. So identification is, it's a biconditional proposition. So this we can only come to know when we symbolize it. So let P, voters are well informed. Q, democracy will be successful. Logical form is P, if and only if P, then Q. Okay, if and only if voters are well informed, then democracy will be successful. Now, how do we create a truth table? So again, we have two variables. Okay, so P and Q. So we first write that standard format I told you, don't change it. So for two variables, we have to put true true, true false, false true, and false false. Okay, don't change the format. And then we have to put this entire thing here. P, biconditional Q. If and only if P, then Q. This is how you read it. Okay. So in this, what happens is, only when both are true, okay, only when both are true, that is P is true, Q is true, or both are false, P is false, Q is false, then the result is true. Remember this one. Okay, only this. And then if only these are true, then the other will be false. I don't have time to go into why it is false, why it is true. As of now, for exam point of view, we just have to create the truth table, and that is what I am showing you how to do it correctly. So only when both are true. Okay, only when both are true or both are false in biconditional. Okay, this rule applies for biconditional. Only when both are true, the result is true. When both are false also, the result is true. Otherwise, it is false, false, like this. So this is the table drawn. Okay, we can see it here. When both are true, the result is true. When both are false, the result is true. Otherwise, we write false, false for the other two. Okay, these two we write false, false. This is done. We are done with this table. Now let's move on to the next one. You will catch the plane if and only if. Okay, so if and only if. If and only if. Catch the plane. You will catch the plane is, let's say, P. If and only you reach on time is Q. Okay, so this is our symbolize. So this is biconditional proposition. Now let's look at the symbolization. You will catch the plane as P. Let P, you will catch the plane. Let Q, you will reach in time. You reach in time. Logical form is P by if and only if P, then Q. If and only if you reach on time, you'll be able to catch the plane. Or if and only if you'll catch the plane if and only if you reach in time. It's the same thing. Okay, now again the same truth table you have to do. P, Q. Now this is the standard format: true, 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 false, false, true, false, false. Okay. Now I'll wait 3 seconds for each answer. You can give the answer quickly, so you know that you are up to mark with me. Now what will come here? P. This one. The entire symbol will come here. Now you have to look at the truth table. So what will come here? The rule was only when both are true, then what happens? It becomes true. When both are false, what happens? It becomes true. Okay, otherwise it is false, false. That's it. We are done. True, true, false, false. Standard format. And how do you write the P and Q table? First you write true, 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 false, false, true, false, false. And then you look at the result, what the result will be of the truth table. That's all. You have to write the truth table, draw it like this. So very simple. Next, he is clever and he is either rich or lucky. Now there are 3 variables in this. He is clever. So we can write P for clever. He is clever is P. And now and is symbolized by this format, by this symbol. He is He is rich. He is rich is Q. Okay, and he is lucky is R. I'm showing this slightly separately in a slightly different way from my earlier video. So do look at this video definitely. Leave that other video out, and this is much simpler because I'm also learning. So I'm improving in the way I'm teaching you also. But whatever I'm showing, I can't say I'm teaching, but rather I'm myself learning instead of teaching, because that is not my purpose to teach. My purpose is to learn. So when I'm learning, and if it is helpful to you, of course it will become kind of a teaching for you. You can take it that way. I'm not taking it. So P, he is clever. So let P, he is clever, and is symbolized like this. He is rich. So let Q be he is rich, and R be he is lucky. So you have to write the whole thing. He is lucky, not just lucky. In my earlier video, I had shown R is lucky. I had shown, in fact, L is lucky, R is rich, and C is clever. But now, let's go with this standard format now. Okay? P, Q, and R. So P, we have to write let P, he is clever, and he is, I'll tell you about the either later on. So he is rich means Q, he is lucky means R. Now OR is symbolized, this one is symbolized by this symbol. Okay, and either rich or lucky is symbolized like this. So now we have a complete symbol format. So P and Q or R, this is our symbolization. Okay, and this is conjunction and disjunction. This is conjunction and disjunction. So this is also known as the AND symbol. This is known as AND. AND is also known as conjunction. Okay, and the arrow is known as OR. This symbol is known as OR also, OR table, or it is also known as disjunction. I hope you understood this part. It was very simple actually. It is much simpler from how I have explained it in the last video. So this will definitely benefit you all. Okay. Now this conjunction and disjunction identification. Already I have showed you how to symbolize it. Let P, he is clever. Let Q, he is rich. Not either rich, he is rich. And R is, he is lucky. Okay, and then I have shown you how to symbolize it. Now P, he is clever, Q is rich, R, he is lucky. Logical form is this, which you already saw. Now how do we create a truth table for this? Because there are three variables, there will be slight change. So I have to show you on a different blank page. This part we had already covered in the previous video, but not in the exactly the same way that I am showing now. I would suggest to use this kind of technique. Okay, so we have three variables P, Q, and R. So first I'll just tell you how to draw the first three columns table wise. Okay, the standard. So we start with the last two columns. This is standard format used: true, 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 false, false, true, and false, false. Okay, same thing has to be repeated once again. True, 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 false, false, true, and false, false. Okay, this way we have to write. Next, in the first column, we have to write 4 times true, 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 and next 4 columns you have to write false, 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 false. Okay, so all our permutations, combinations have completed. Okay, now next column we have to write our first component, this one, joint one. Okay, Q or R. Now in the OR table, when you have two variables P or Q, okay, in the OR what we have to remember is, so true true, true false, false true, false false. I would highly recommend that if you have not understood, ask me questions, as many questions as you want in the comment section, and I'll definitely try to answer. But clear your doubts. Otherwise, as you have kept saying, logic is very difficult, it will be difficult because you have not clarified your doubts, you have not understood. So I'm giving you an opportunity to clarify your doubt if you want. Put it in the comment section so that I can answer you. Don't worry whether you know or you don't know. If you have a doubt, clarify it. This is how I also do. So for an OR table, only thing that you need to remember is, if any term, either P or Q is true, then the result is true. I'll repeat again. If any term is true, either P or Q column, either P column or Q column is T, that is true, then the result is true. So we see both are true, so the result is true. Okay, here we need only one of them to be true, so this is also true. One of them to be true, so it's true. One of them to be true, it's not that none of them are true, so it is false. This is how you remember it. Okay, now let's come back to this table here. So we draw, first we write TT, TF, FT, FF. Once again we repeat the same process again, TT, TF, FT, FF. Then 4 times T, 4 times F. That's it. Our first 3 columns are ready. Okay. Now we have to do Q and R. Q or R. Q, disjunction R. Q or R. In this, we are looking at these two tables, these two columns. Okay. Q or R. So any of them is true, then just write true here. So here there is true, so we write true. Here there is a true, we write true. Here both are false, so we write false, because we need at least one column to be true. Again, true, 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 and false. Okay. Once we have done this, now we write the entire symbolization here in this column, last column. Okay. Now, what we have to do is, we have already done this in this column. So we take this column 1, okay, and then we take the P column, the first one. So now we have to join these two with the AND symbol. We have to solve this. So P and this one. So let's number this table 1, 2, 3, 4. So basically what we are doing is, we are 1 and 4. We are doing this way for this table, 1 and 4. Okay. So that is P and this entire thing, 4th column. So you can say P and the 4th column. In short, I'm writing, ignore the spelling errors. So in the end, let me go back to the next table here. For the truth table of P and Q, this is also very simple. So we have TT, TF, FT, and FF. Okay. So what happens in end? Both the terms need to be true for the result to be true. Just remember this. Both P and Q need to be true for the result to be true. Otherwise it is false. So we see both terms are true, so the result is true. Now both terms in the second row is not true, so all is false. This is also both are not true, so it is false. Both are not true, so this is false. I hope you have understood this. Put it in the comment if you have not. Again, once I'm repeating this. Alright, so it's very simple. When both are true in the end, conjunction, both are true, then only the result is true. Otherwise it is all false. So here we see 1 and 4th column. So this is true, Okay, so result is true. This is true. This is true. Result is true. This is true. This is true. The result is true. This is true, but this one is false. So this is false. This is false, of course, so it will become false immediately. This is false, it will become false. This is false. We don't even need to check the last column because we need both of them to be true. So if the first itself is false, then no need to check this last one. So if it's false, it is false. False, false. Okay. That's it. Our truth table for this is completed. Now let's move on to the next topic. Next question. It is false. It is false that London is the coldest city. So first we say London is the coldest city, is P. And it is in Rome. London is in Rome. So it means London. London is the coldest city, London is in Rome. So we write Q. So let P be London is the coldest city. Let Q London is in Rome, right? Now there's an end here, so end means this one. Okay, it is false. It is false. So false means negation. That is, it is not true. It is false means it is not true that London is the coldest city and London is in Rome. So this is how you symbolize it. Okay. It is false. So this is our symbolization, and we also showed how to do that. Now identification part, it is a negation and it is a conjunction. Negation of a conjunction. So we had a conjunction here and we negated that. So negation of a conjunction is the identification. I hope this is also clear to you. Symbolization. P is London is the coldest city, I already shown, and London is in Rome. Logical form, this one. Okay, and the truth table will be for the end part. This P and Q. True, 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 false, false, true, false, false. Now from next question onwards, I'll not be solving the end again and again. Okay, because we have to cover this up faster. So this is the last time that I'm solving P and Q. For P and Q, as I told you, both the terms need to be true for the result to be true. So otherwise it is all false. Just write false directly. Okay, now I'll show you about the negation part, negation truth table, because we have not covered earlier. So for example, we have P. Okay, so PT, TF, FT, FF. This is a slightly different way, but very, very simple. There is no logic to this. It's very simple. Okay, so if I have to negate the P and negate the Q separately, because I have to do separately, each of them I have to negate. Okay, so if P is true, then negation of P, that is opposite of P, is false, not true. True, false. For negation of Q, if Q is true, then negation of Q is false. That's it. P is true, so negation of P is false. If Q is false, negation of Q is true. Means ulta. Q का उल्टा true. Q not Q. False true. उल्टा हो गया. जैसे Q का हो गया उल्टा not Q, वैसे false का हो गया true. फिर इसका ये false का जो P false is there, it becomes true. Okay, and this Q जो true है वो false हो जाएगा, not Q. So if I have to show you in a very simple way another table, so let's say we just do P and not P. Okay, तो अगर P true है तो not P क्या हो जाएगा, false. और अगर P false है तो not P क्या हो जाएगा, true. बस उल्टा कर देने का. That's it. Okay, so now we create our truth table. So first we do P, true, 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 false, false, true, false, false. P एंड Q का बहुत सिंपल है, मैंने बताया दोनों ट्रू होंगे तो ट्रू होगा, अदरवाइज इट इज ऑल फॉल्स। अभी इसको निगेट करना है, थर्ड कॉलम को निगेट करना है। ओके, यहाँ पे मतलब 3 नॉट 3, तो अगर ये ट्रू है तो ये फॉल्स हो जाएगा, अपोजिट हो जाएगा उसका। ये फॉल्स है तो ट्रू हो जाएगा, फॉल्स है तो ट्रू हो जाएगा, फॉल्स है तो ट्रू हो जाएगा। दैट्स इट, डन, आवर ट्रूथ टेबल इज फिनिश्ड। नाउ लेट्स मूव ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट वन। आई विल ईदर गो फॉर अ मूवी और ईट एन आइसक्रीम। ओके, go for a movie, P, eat an ice cream, Q, और का सिंबल ये है, इधर का सिंबल है आई विल ईदर गो फॉर अ मूवी और ईट एन आइसक्रीम। ओके, आई विल ईदर गो फॉर अ मूवी और ईट एन आइसक्रीम, P और Q। ओके, ब्रैकेट में डाल के P और Q। आई विल ईदर ईट आइसक्रीम, आई विल ईदर गो फॉर अ मूवी और आई विल ईट आइसक्रीम। ये आपको तो इधर लेट गो फॉर अ मूवी, I will go for a movie, and Q, I will eat an ice cream. Okay, this is known as disjunction. Disjunction है, हमने पहले भी देखा था और स्टेटमेंट। I will go for a movie, I will eat an ice cream. Logical form is P और Q. इसका ट्रूथ टेबल मैंने ऑलरेडी बता दिया है प्रीवियस वीडियो में, आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू स्टेट इट अगेन हियर अगेन। सो यू नो, खाली मैं इतना बता देता हूँ Q में क्या होता है, खाली कोई भी एक P या Q में ट्रू है तो रिजल्ट ट्रू हो जाएगा, बस बाकी सब फॉल्स है। सो आई एम स्किपिंग दिस। सो वी सी, ये तीनों ट्रू रहेंगे और ये फॉल्स हो जाएगा क्योंकि एक ट्रू चाहिए, इसलिए नहीं है, इसलिए फॉल्स हो गया। लेट्स मूव ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट वन। ओके, इफ एंड ओनली इफ। इफ एंड ओनली इफ का क्या हो गया, डबल बाय डायरेक्शनल एरो। You have merit, P. You will get an admission, Q. Okay, so let you have merit, Q, you will get an admission. Okay, और बीच में ये सिंबल आ जाएगा। तो हमारा सिंबलाइजेशन भी हो गया। ये हमारा स्टैंडर्ड सिंबलाइजेशन कंप्लीट हो गया। P बाय कंडीशनल, इसको बाय कंडीशनल बोलते हैं। तो हमारा प्रोपोजिशन टाइप क्या हो गया, बाय कंडीशनल प्रोपोजिशन। बाय कंडीशनल प्रोपोजिशन, ये सिंबलाइजेशन हो गया हमारा। तो ट्रूथ टेबल बाय कंडीशनल का ऑलरेडी मैंने एक्सप्लेन किया है। बाय कंडीशनल में P ट्रू रहेगा एंड Q ट्रू रहेगा तो रिजल्ट ट्रू आएगा। अगर P फॉल्स रहेगा और Q फॉल्स रहेगा, दोनों ट्रू दोनों फॉल्स होंगे तो भी result true आएगा, otherwise it is false false. Okay, so I will quickly go through the table. Only when both are true then the result is true, only when both are false the result is true, otherwise it is false. Next, okay, this is part 3 of the elementary logic series, practical based, which have come, these questions have come in the exam paper for 3 marks. So we are covering here for 3 marks. Okay, same thing as the last video. We are continuing with more examples here. I'll be going very fast in this video. So you'll have to, if you do not understand this video, go back to the second part of the video to understand how it is done. Okay, so here same thing, we have to identify the compound proposition, symbolize it, and construct its truth table. Okay, Lata is not both a good singer and a good actress. So Lata is a good singer. First you have to write like that, because we always state, when we are symbolizing it, we will always state it in a positive manner. Okay, in an affirmative way. We will not say Lata is not a good singer. We will not write it like that. We have to write it like Lata is a good singer, and then we have to negate it when we are symbolizing it. I hope you got it. Lata is a good singer. Lata is a good actress. So Lata is a good singer is P. Lata is a good actress is Q. Okay, and we have to use the conjunction symbol. Okay, and is not, so we have to negate it. So now we say P is Lata is a good singer, right? So Lata is a good singer and Lata is a good actress. Lata is a good singer is P and Lata is a good actress, Q. And then we state she is not. So she is not a good singer and a good actress. Okay, so this is again negation of a conjunction. This is known as conjunction, this symbol. Negation of a conjunction. Okay, so this is our logical form. This is our symbolization. Okay, I have already explained this, how to make a truth table of it. In P and Q, I'll just make it very short. In P and Q, both need to be true for the result to be true. Otherwise, it's false. Okay. Now, and then we negate this. Whatever the result is, we negate this with the negation. That is, if this is true, then the negation will be false. So, quickly we'll go true, true, and this true. Rest all is false. Okay, and then we have to negate this third table. Third column we have to negate in the. So we have to take negation of this. So negation of true is false, false is true, false is true, false is true. So this is our complete truth table. Let's move on to the next one. The question is easy, but not the answer. The question is easy, P, not the answer, Q. Okay. The question is easy, but not the answer. And question is easy. Is it if then? Let's check. Conjunction with a negation. But not. So P is question is easy. Q is the question. Let's look at this. The answer is easy. The question is easy. The answer is easy. And then we say the answer is not easy. Okay. All right. So I'm also learning with you all, where I find that I also need to, because I will acknowledge. If I don't know something, I'll acknowledge. Okay. So the question is easy, but not the answer. Question is easy. Answer is easy. And answer is not easy. And answer is not easy because it says, but not the answer. Alright, so this is conjunction with negation. In the earlier it was negation with conjunction. So it is conjunction with negation. Now how do we solve this? So in the truth table, we'll have to write P, Q, true, 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 false, false, true, and false, false. And first we negate here Q, a separate column we'll have to create. So this true will become false, this false will become true, this true will become false, this false will become true. Okay, now we have to use the entire thing here, P and Q. Okay, we have to use this. So we'll use the first column and the third column. So, and we have to use the AND one, conjunction. So true, false, false, true, 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 false, 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 true, false. So this is our truth table. False, true, false, false, matched with our truth table. So the only thing we need to know is how to symbolize it. So as we solve more and more sums, I'll also learn. So the question is easy, but not the answer. The question is easy, but question is easy, answer is easy. As I said in the earlier part also, earlier question, we have to put it in an affirmative sense and then use a negation sign. Then only it will become, will have a proper symbolization. Okay, now let's go on to the next one. Let's start with the third one. Neither Caltex nor Burma Shell is an Indian company. So Caltex is P, Burma shell is Q. Now this is a negative statement. So we state let P Caltex is an Indian company. Q Burma shell is an Indian company. We write it like that first. Let P Caltex is an Indian company. Q Burma shell is an Indian company. Now they are saying neither of them, means both, neither of them is an Indian company. So when we write below the let, when we are trying to symbolize it, we have to write P in a positive sense. That is, we have to state Caltex is an Indian company. Burma shell is an Indian company. But the statement itself is saying that it is not. So when it is not, we state like this: it is not an Indian company, while symbolizing it. Okay, only while symbolizing it. And we state and neither Caltex is an Indian company and Burma shell is an Indian company. So this is our standard logical symbolization. Now this same thing can be written as like this. Nor means or. Okay, nor means or. So P or Q. So what we are stating here is neither Burma shell or either Caltex or Burma shell is an Indian company. It is not. It is not. Okay. So this is the final standard logical symbolization. Now so this is basically negation of a disjunction. Negation of a disjunction. Alright. So P is an Indian company. That is, Caltex is an Indian company. Burma shell is an Indian company. First we write like that in a positive sense. Then we negate it and say they are not. Both are not. Neither this nor this or this. Okay, now the truth table is again very simple. For or, we need one of them to be true. Either P needs to be true or the Q needs to be true for the answer to be true. So we see true, 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 false, true, false, true, true. Otherwise it is false because we see one true, both true. So answer is true. Now negation of the third column would be exactly opposite. If this is true, then this becomes false, true, false, true, false, false, true. Now let's move on to the next question. Okay, it is not the case that Jawaharlal Nehru was either a scientist or a saint. So Jawaharlal Nehru is a scientist. This is how we write first P, positive, in a positive sense. Jawaharlal Nehru is a scientist. Jawaharlal Nehru is a saint. We write like that. And then we write, we negate it. He is neither of them. He is either was, it is not the case. Means he is neither a scientist nor a saint. So it is like similar one, up one only. So we write E is let P Jawaharlal Nehru is a scientist. Q Jawaharlal Nehru is a saint. And then we say then he is not. So P or Q and he is not. Okay. So it's a negation of a disjunction. So Jawaharlal Nehru was a scientist, or is a, was a, okay, so was a scientist. Jawaharlal Nehru was a saint. And then we say no, he was not. This is the same as question 3 truth table. Okay. Next, in case an Australian is fond of reading, so Australian is fond of reading is P. He has to hide that weakness. So Australian, so it's a negative sense. Okay, he has to hide that weakness. So he has to hide that weakness is Q. What it means is, if somebody is an Australian and is fond of reading, then he has to hide that weakness. So implies. In case means if an Australian is fond of reading, then he has to hide that weakness. This is what it means. So it's a conditional proposition. This is a conditional proposition. An Australian is fond of reading, he has to hide that weakness is Q. Logical form is P conditional Q. If P, then Q. Truth table I have already explained for the conditional statement. Only if the first one is true and the second one is false, then the statement is false. True, false, false. Otherwise it's all true. Let's move on to the next one. The sixth one. Unless he has a good practice, he will lose the race. So let P, he has a good practice, and Q, he will lose the race. Now he is saying unless. So unless means negative. First we said he has a good practice. Now he is saying unless he has a good practice. So we are negating it. Okay. Or he will lose the race. If he does not have a good practice, he will lose the race. So or. Okay. It's a conditional proposition equivalent to P or Q. It's a conditional proposition. If he does not have a good practice, then he will lose the race. It's a negation of a disjunction also. He has a good practice, he will lose the race. Unless P, Q is logical equivalent to this also. Not P or Q. Okay. So same thing could have been written like this also. Good practice is P. It implies Q. So not P implies Q. If he does not have good practice, then he will lose the race. It can be written like this also. Okay. Unless P is, so basically they are saying it's a conditional proposition equivalent to P or Q. If P does not happen, then Q will happen. Okay. So not P or Q. So we will go with what is stated here, but it is equivalent. So it is a conditional proposition. Alright, now this truth table I have already explained, so I am not going into it. Next is if the light does not come on, if conditional proposition, if the light does not come on, so it's P, then either the fuse, either means bracket, the fuse is blown out, so fuse PQ, Q, fuse is blown out is Q, or means this one, disjunction, something is wrong with the bulb, EQR, something is wrong with the bulb. So if P, then either Q or R. Okay. If P, then either Q or R. The light does, P is let P, the light comes on. So we don't say light does not come. We say light comes on, the fuse is blown out, something is wrong with the bulb, is R, PQR. Okay, and the logical form is, because we have stated here the light comes on, so we have to negate this. Light does not come on. Okay, light does not come on. Then it implies that Q or R. This is a logical form. Now the truth table is very easy to solve. So first we solve this one, and then we solve this one, and the third we solve the entire thing. Okay, in the truth table. Now there are 3 variables, so we'll have to have 8 rows total. So we solve the Q or R first, negation of P we solve second, and then we use implication. We solve the implication part in the third column. That is all. Okay. It is false that if and only if. Ranjit, first we write Ranjit is a great mathematician. Ranjit is a great mathematician is P. Ranjit will be a great singer is Q. So P, Q. Now they are saying it is false that if and only if Ranjit is a great mathematician, then he will be a great singer. So earlier what we are writing is negation of a biconditional proposition. So negation of a biconditional proposition. Okay, Ranjit is a great mathematician, Ranjit is a great singer. Then we are saying he is only if Ranjit is a great mathematician, he will be a great singer. I hope this is clear. And then biconditional, I have already stated, truth table. Both have to be true for it to be true. True, true. Both have to be false for the result to be true. And then we negate that. So first we solve this, and whatever is the result, we negate that. So we solve this first, and then we negate it. I think we are done with this part of the video. इतने ही क्वेश्चंस थे, बट ओवरऑल मैंने सब कवर कर दिए. एंड और अगर आपको और डिटेल में देखना है तो लेट मी नो इन द कमेंट सेक्शन मोर क्वेश्चन एंड आंसर्स, and I'll try to solve it if time permits, because I have to do question answers also for myself. But I'm making this video specially for all the subscribers who have trusted me so far. So I'm doing that. I hope your economics exam was very nice. Mine was very good. Could solve everything. My hands were paining, but I could solve everything. With this, thank you so much for your valuable time. If you have found this video useful, I will definitely recommend not to subscribe, but at least share the link with your college group friends. It will really help them, I think, for their exams, in at least scoring 25 marks. And as I keep hearing, many people, many students are saying that it's very difficult, they don't understand. They will not understand if they have not understood the basic foundational of this, which I'm explaining in this video in great detail. Please go through this. Thank you very, very much for listening, giving your time out and listening to me for such a long duration. Take care, bye bye, and best of luck for your elementary logic exam.